Biomed Nexus, daily updates, your essential biotech, medtech, and pharma recap. No noise, just what matters. TLDR ASCO 2026 opens Thursday, May 29th to June 7th in Chicago. Revolution Medicines, RVMD, presents full Phase 3 Resolute 302 data in a plenary session on Saturday, May 31st. ADC label expansions, checkpoint inhibitor combinations, and cell therapy real-world evidence will be presented across hundreds of abstracts. Truist projects a Darixon-Razib approval by end of Q3. We missed covering AstraZeneca's, AZN, Baxfendy, Baxdrostat. Approval on May 18th and are correcting that now. Baxfendy is the first and only aldosterone synthase inhibitor approved for hypertension, targeting 23 million US patients with uncontrolled blood pressure despite 2 or more medications. AstraZeneca expects 5B+ in peak annual sales. Mineralys, Therapeutics' rival lorundrostat, has a PDUFA date in December. SERB Pharmaceuticals acquired rights to Swedish firm Hansa Biopharma's Idefirix, imlifidase, for $128 million upfront on May 24th, adding a transplant desensitization therapy to its portfolio. The Commerce Department's Section 232 report on medical devices, originally expected in late May, has not yet been released. Executive takeaway: 3 days. That is the distance between now and the opening of the most important oncology meeting of the year. Revolution Medicine's plenary session on Saturday is the headline, but ASCO is far bigger than one presentation. The conference will feature data across ADCs following 2 approvals in 2 weeks, Enhertu in early breast cancer, Datraway in first-line TNBC, next-generation checkpoint inhibitor strategies after Regeneron's fianlimab miss reset expectations for the LAG-3 class, cell therapy updates as Lilly's in vivo CAR-T thesis through Colonia and Orna matures, and emerging modalities including bispecific antibodies and radiopharmaceuticals. We will provide daily coverage of the most significant data throughout the conference. Separately, we owe our readers a catch-up on AstraZeneca's Baxfendy. Approved May 18th, Baxfendy is the first new mechanism of action in hypertension in 2 decades. It inhibits aldosterone synthase, addressing the hormonal root cause of resistant blood pressure rather than the downstream symptoms. AstraZeneca expects more than 5 billion in peak annual sales, which would make Baxfendy one of the largest cardiovascular launches in years. The 23 million US patients with uncontrolled hypertension despite 2 or more medications represent the addressable population. Read full analysis, what to watch, ASCO Day. 1. Thursday, May 29th. Opening sessions, abstract presentations, and exhibit hall. Initial data presentations across solid tumors and hematology. ASCO plenary, Saturday, May 31st, Revolution Medicine's full phase. 3 Resolute 302 data, Brian Wolpin, Dana-Farber, presenting, PFS data, subgroup analyses, and mature survival curves. This is the data that could trigger an NDA filing under CNPV. Baxfendy versus lorundrostat. AstraZeneca now has first mover advantage. Mineralys Therapeutics' rival aldosterone synthase inhibitor, lorundrostat, has a PDUFA date in December 2026. Head-to-head positioning will define the new hypertension market. Commerce Section 232 device report, still expected. The delay is notable. Medtech companies, Medtronic, Boston Scientific, Abbott, Intuitive Surgical, Stryker, are watching for tariff framework details. Cardiovascular AstraZeneca's Baxfendy approved as first new hypertension mechanism in 2 decades. AZN what happened? The FDA approved AstraZeneca's Baxfendy, Baxdrostat, on May 18th as the first and only aldosterone synthase inhibitor, ASI, for the treatment of hypertension in combination with other antihypertensive medications. The approval was based on the BaxHTN Phase 3 trial published in the New England Journal of Medicine which showed Baxfendy 2 mg lowered systolic blood pressure by 15, 7 mm 9, 8 mm placebo-adjusted in patients with uncontrolled or resistant hypertension on 2 or more medications. The market. Approximately 23 million patients in the US have uncontrolled hypertension despite being on 2 or more medications. AstraZeneca EVP Ruud Dobber said this population has seen little therapeutic progress for the past 2 decades. BaxHTN investigator Dr. Brian Williams, University College London, said doctors have been waiting for an innovative medication like Baxfendy for hypertension for many years. Executive impact. AstraZeneca expects Baxfendy to generate more than 5 Bs in peak annual sales. The company acquired Baxfendy's developer, Cincor Pharma, for $1. 8B in 2023, 191% premium. The drug is also being studied in chronic kidney disease and heart failure, with trials enrolling more than 2,000 patients globally. The approval puts AstraZeneca ahead of Mineralys Therapeutics, which is developing lorundrostat, a rival aldosterone synthase inhibitor currently under FDA review with a PDUFA date in December. Epidemiological data cited by AstraZeneca indicate that a 10 mm decrease in systolic blood pressure is associated with roughly 20% lower risk of serious cardiovascular events. Corporate and Business Development SERB acquires Hansa Biopharma's Idefirix for 128 MA SERB Pharmaceuticals, acquired rights to Swedish firm Hansa Biopharma's Idefirix imlifidase for 121 upfront on May 24th, according to the Pharma letter. Idefirix is an IgG cleaving enzyme approved in the EU for desensitization treatment in highly sensitized adult kidney transplant recipients. The deal gives SERB a commercial stage transplant medicine and expands its specialty care portfolio. ASCO preview. 5 sessions beyond Revolution. Revolution's plenary is the headliner, but these sessions could also move stocks, like ADC combinations in solid tumors. With Enhertu and Datraway approved in rapid succession, watch for next-generation ADC data combining with checkpoint inhibitors, TKIs, or other ADCs. Gilead Tubulis pipeline context, Merck, Kelun Biotech, SAC TMT updates, and Daiichi Sankyo's broader ADC platform will be presented. 2. Checkpoint inhibitor sequencing and combinations. After Regeneron's fianlimab LAG-3 miss, the LAG-3 class is under pressure. Alternative combinations, TIGIT CTLA-4 next-gen bispecifics, will be closely watched. 3. Cell therapy real-world evidence. CAR-T therapies, Yescarta, Carvykti, Abecma, have been on the market for several years. ASCO will present real-world outcomes data that could expand or narrow labeled indications. 4. Crass oncology landscape. Revolution has the plenary. But Erasca, AbbVie, Kestrel, and others will present early-stage crass data that define the competitive landscape around daraxonrasib. 5. Radiopharmaceuticals, Novartis Pluvicto, Plavudin 70% in Q1, and emerging radioligand therapies represent one of the fastest-growing segments in oncology. New data across prostate cancer and other solid tumors expected. The week ahead, Thursday, May 29th, ASCO 2026 opens Chicago. May 29th, FDA RTCT public comment period closes Saturday, May 31. ASCO plenary, Resolute 302 full data, RVMD. June 2nd, ASCO closes. June 4th, Jefferies Global Healthcare Conference, New York. TBD, Commerce section. 232 report on medical devices read, Full analysis Biomed Nexus Pro Institutional Intelligence Brief, Baxfendy, the cardiovascular franchise AstraZeneca, needed. AstraZeneca has been primarily known for oncology, Enhertu, Tagrisso, Imfinzi, and respiratory, Fasenra, Breztri. The Baxfendy approval gives the company a major franchise in cardiovascular medicine. The Cincor acquisition in 2023, 18B, 121% premium, was a bet that aldosterone synthase inhibition would prove to be a differentiated mechanism. The BaxHTN data validated that bet. 9. 8 mmHg placebo-adjusted systolic reduction is clinically meaningful and large enough to drive adoption. The mechanism is genuinely novel. Every existing hypertension drug, ACE inhibitors, ARBs, calcium channel blockers, diuretics, beta blockers, works downstream of aldosterone. Baxfendy works upstream, inhibiting the enzyme that produces aldosterone in the first place. Competition: Mineralys. Therapeutics' lorundrostat is the only direct competitor in the aldosterone synthase inhibitor class. It is currently under FDA review with a PDUFA date in December 2026. If approved, the market will split between two ASIs. AstraZeneca has first-mover advantage and deeper commercial infrastructure. ASCO, the commercial stakes. ASCO is not just a scientific conference. It is where commercial narratives are set for the next 12 months. Formulary positioning, health plans and PBMs use ASCO data to inform coverage decisions for the following year. M&A target identification, strong Phase 2 data at ASCO, historically triggers acquisition interest. Analyst model revisions, peak sales estimates, revenue timelines, and price targets are updated based on ASCO presentations. Clinical practice adoption, oncologists attend ASCO to determine which new drugs to integrate into their practice. The plenary session carries the most weight. Section 232 device report. The delay? The Commerce Department's Section 232 report on medical devices was expected in late May, based on the September 2025 investigation timeline. As of today, it has not been released. The delay creates uncertainty for the medtech sector. If the report recommends tariffs on imported medical devices, companies with significant overseas manufacturing would face direct cost impact. If it recommends no action, medtech avoids the disruptions pharma has been navigating since April. Catalyst calendar, ASCO week and beyond date, event tickers. Thursday, May 29, ASCO 2026 opens, Chicago. Multiple, May 29, FDE RTCT public comment period, closes Saturday, May 31, ASCO plenary. Resolute 302, full data RVMD June. 2 ASCO closes, multiple June 4 Jefferies, Global Healthcare Conference, New York. Multiple June 2026 Takeda CEO transition, Julie Kim. Tackle8 Q2 Lilly Foundayo. T2D filing under CNPV LYQ3 2026 Revolution. Medicines Daraxonrasib approval projected, Truist RVMD July. 1 Medicare GLP-1 Bridge Program launches, LLY. NVOQ3 2026 Teva Emalex. Close expected Teva July. 31 Section 232 Pharma tariffs. Effective, large companies. Multiple DEC 2026 Mineralys lorundrostat. PDUFA FAMLOY SH2 2026 Foundayo. T2D regulatory action expected LLYH2 2026 Lilly. Kelonia. Close expected LLYH2 2026 Ajax proof of concept data. Expected LLYH2 2026 Merck. SAC TMT filing. Expected MRK 2026 Triumph HN2. Retail TrueTide T2D. Readout expected LLY 2027 Retail TrueTide. Launch anticipated. BMO. Elicept. 19 Ultragenyx UX111 PDUFA. Sanfilippo type A gene therapy. Raresept. Section 232 Pharma tariffs effective. All other companies. Multiple DEC. 7 Lilly Investment Community Meeting LLY. Visit the Pro Hub read. Full article. Limited ASCO week sponsorship slots available. May 29, June 2s. Reach 65,000 plus professionals during the biggest oncology event of the year. Learn more. Is your company listed in the Biomed Nexus directory? 2104 companies across 14 categories. Claim or upgrade your listing. Sponsorship slots for 2026 are limited. See packages and pricing. New Biomed Nexus signals weekly sales intelligence for life sciences. BD teams. Learn more.